ladies and gentlemen, to It Came From DC Comics here on Reaction and Review. Yes, guys, I'm spending an entire month checking out animated DC Comics films, and I've decided to kick off the month with one of their movies from 2014. That movie is Justice League War. Now, the only thing I can tell you about this movie is that it's kind of, sort of, an animated adaptation of the first story arc of the New 52 Justice League comic. I really wish I could give you more detail beyond that, but I haven't had a chance to read any of the New 52 books in general, so I don't even know what the hell the first arc is really about. At least honestly, that there is what this movie is touted as. What I know about it, based on the trailer I saw, is that it has to do with the Justice League forming and fighting against Darkseid, which I'm all for, because Darkseid still to this day stands as my all-time favorite DC Comics villain. So anything, guys, which has the Justice League facing off against Darkseid almost has to be good. But there is still that slight chance that this thing could totally suck, and the only way I'm going to find out if this thing is any good at all is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Justice League War. So, I'm going to assume this thing is one of Darkseid's parademons. Looks really cool, guys. I'm actually kind of sort of digging that. You know, guys, I never thought I would watch a DC film of any kind that mentions that Wonder Woman dresses like a whore and say it directly. That's actually kind of sort of interesting. Well, guys, I can say this much. Cyborg's a total badass, man, and he honestly has been Cyborg for, about 45 seconds. He's done nothing but kick ass ever fucking since. That's really awesome. Alright, I was always curious exactly how Darkseid got all of his fucking, parademons. I always thought they were just citizens from his planet. Apparently, I was fucking wrong. And the actual origin of them is kind of fucked up.
Trying to prove anything, you phenomenal douchebag.
Okay. So Green Lantern just called Batman a douchebag. Like, literally. That was really fucking cool. I actually kind of like that. That was just fucking awesome. Did Superman just kill fucking Desaad? My god, he did. Alright, that was certainly not, what I was kind of expecting. That actually kind of felt a little bit fucked up, guys. Well, guys, that was Justice League War. Let me shut that off. Okay, wow. Now I have to go get some of the New 52 Justice League books. That was really fucking awesome. Anyway, why don't we talk about the movie? Let's start with writing. I had no clue how they were going to handle the characters, because once more, I haven't read any of the New 52 books, so I don't know how these characters are there. I kind of sort of like how they were able to branch out everybody's, personalities. Everybody really does stand out as their own unique character, which is always something that I look forward to in superhero team-up films, which is honestly the one thing I didn't like when Marvel finally gave us the fucking, Avengers, and they all felt like the very same character. But still, that honestly is not the point here. Point is, our characters here are really nicely, fleshed out. We also are treated to Cyborg's origin, which is done very, very well. Everything here, guys, in terms of just character is handled incredibly well. Our story is very, very tight. The pacing here is fantastic. Just guys, writing here is just incredibly solid, and I would love to talk more about it, but I don't want to spoil any more than I have that. I don't want to spoil any more than I may have already spoiled during the early part of this video. Anyway, our story here is tight. Our characters here are very, very nicely fleshed out. It really is just some really solid writing, and that is fantastic. Our voice acting. I do need to make a very strong mention of voice acting on one thing, because prior to watching this, I was looking at the cast list, and I noticed that Darkseid was voiced by an actor named Stephen Blum. And I'm not a fan of his, normally, because for over 10 years, Blum has been able to get voice work, and he is yet to show any kind of actual range. He has shown he has about four voices to him, so I was dreading the very thought of him voicing Darkseid. But here he actually showed a new voice, and he pulled it off really well, so guess what? Blum, I finally have a little bit more respect for you. You've actually shown the world you have, range. I never thought I would say that about you. But hey, rock on. You have finally done it. Awesome. And as for the rest of the cast, the rest of the cast turns in a fantastic showing also. It's just that I'm still kind of floored by the fact that Stephen fucking Blum has shown range. I'm almost rendered speechless by that. But why don't we move on to the rest of the voice acting? The rest of the voice acting here is still just top notch stuff. Nobody here phoned it in. Nobody here sucked. Everything in terms of voice acting was perfect. Animation here is really tight. Tight and flawless. Art style here looks really cool. I do have to make one comment though, and it does have to do with Darkseid. Perhaps maybe it's because I don't know how they've handled Darkseid in the new comics, but prior to New 52, Darkseid was always a bigger, guy, 7 feet, 8 feet, Here they've got him at maybe about 20 feet, and it looks kind of weird. However, though, I was able to look past that rather fast, but still, it didn't quite look right at first. I just sort of got fucking used to it. Was there anything else I was going to talk about in terms of art style? Desaad looks, sort of cool. I actually kind of thought it was a little bit weird. They gave him that little, flesh thing that is on fucking Jonah Hex. That one little bit of, flesh that connects his two jaws. It looked kind of weird. Once more, I got totally used to it as the film, went on. Beyond those, though, and mind you, those honestly aren't even problems. They were just things I wasn't quite, expecting. Art style here is really good. Speaking of art style, this also sort of ties into writing. I was not expecting this film to be as bloody as it was. There, guys, is a lot of blood and gore for a fucking animated superhero film. In fact, there actually is also a little bit too much gore here for the fucking PG-13 rating on the back. Because, guys, Wonder Woman's running around with her friggin' sword, and she's chopping off parademon heads, and it really, guys, is not done in a very friendly way. And I really think it's just the fact that the parademons are not bleeding red that saved them from bumping up from fucking PG-13 to R. So let's just make that point abundantly clear. This thing is also incredibly bloody and gory, and if you have children, and if you don't want your kids to see that, you probably will not want them to watch this. This thing also is a little bit more vulgar than I thought it was going to be. Again, though, that honestly isn't a problem. It honestly just sort of shows that. It just sort of shows a lot of people that, well, it actually shows them something that I have known for decades, and that is that animation is not exclusively for children. This thing here, honestly, is really good for, say, teenagers and up. And it also would be fantastic family viewing, as long as you don't mind your kids hearing, real mild swearing. In fact, guys, honestly, the fucking worst thing you hear in here is shit. And that honestly is uttered once. As well as all of the like blood and gore. If you have no problem with your kids watching it, then by all means let them. However, though, if those are something that you don't want to expose your child to, then best bet is to hold off on this one until they're maybe a little bit older. That honestly is just a little, like warning for you. Sound mix here is sound mix is probably the one point where I have to really sort of gripe. Because we have moments where the music is mixed way too loud and it's drowning out the dialogue. We have moments where we have moments where there is no music and the dialogue is mixed really quiet. So I was constantly turning up and turning down my volume in order to hear voices at times. That's something I kind of wish that they would have fixed prior to putting it out. However, though, once more, that is really kind of sort of a minor gripe. Guys, ultimately, when all is said and done, am I able to recommend Justice League War? Most fucking certainly. This thing here is amazing, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, I made a comparison earlier to Marvel's big film, which was the Avengers. I'm going to put it to you this way. This movie was able to tell a better story in 1 hour and 20 minutes than the Avengers was able to do in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Now, mind you, that honestly, guys, is not a horrible dig at that film. It's just that this one here is a little bit better, and that is saying a lot, because I genuinely liked the Avengers movie. It's just I kind of felt it was a little bit too bloated and padded out, and this thing shows that you can totally tell a similar story and have far better pacing and have far better characters and have deeper characters. Like this thing here, guys, is a fantastic movie, especially if you're a fan of superhero films. And if you have a fear of not knowing anything about these characters or any of that, the movie is. And once more, the movie is trying to retell the very first story arc of the New 52 Justice League comics, which was a fresh start for the Justice League. So you guys will not be lost at all on characters, and they actually go to great lengths to at least try to tell you a little bit about most of the characters, which is always a huge positive for people who don't know anything about DC Comics or the Justice League, or people who just don't know a lot about, say, like the Flash or Cyborg or Shazam, like the I'm just gonna say the like lesser heroes amongst the crew here. This thing, guys, is really a fantastic movie, and frankly, if everything else I covered this month is even half as good as this thing was, then I am in for a fantastic month of movies. Now, I really do want to read some fucking, like Justice League. I'm going to go to Amazon. I'm going to see if I can get a couple of the New 52 Justice League trades, so that way I can see how the comics stand up against this. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of an... Oh, wait! I forgot the shout-out. Oh, God, I feel really terrible. I was just about to leave. Alright, Justice League War came off of the Amazon wishlist. The person who sent it in was Robert. I'm sorry, I just had to double check my thing here. Yeah, and Justice League War was sent in by, Robert, and Robert, I thank you, guys. Could you please swing over to Robert's, I think it's Robert's Amazon profile. Go over there and check out everything that he has written. Robert, once more, thank you. I'm really happy to have this. Now I'm going to go over to Amazon and see if I can find a couple of Justice League trades. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.